This is the I Read Comic Books podcast. This week, I am your very special host with the most, Szamborski, and I am joined by a hometown hero back from a glorious odyssey, Nick White.
I think they're going to have to make a Hallmark movie out of this.
And, you know, today we're talking about the Goodreads group theme of the month, which is comics set in or near your hometown. So we're gonna get into it. I've got my legally mandated question. It's how are you? How have comic books been? And where are you from? And what did you read, Nick?
Gosh, let's just get into social and date of birth and all these other things. We can just that's fine. Maybe you're not trying
chop.
to,
I need your credit card, Nick.
Call me up, tell me that I have to go to the bank and I can only get I have to buy iTunes gift cards because that is how we're going to save my grandma's dwindling health. No.
Barnes & Noble, Nick. Barnes & Noble. Yeah. The Criterion Collection half-off sale is only another 5 months away.
Or we will. We are the IRS. We will come to your house. No. Yeah, things have been good. We're at that weird point in the year now where like football and baseball for an ever brief moment like overlap for about maybe like a month to a month and a half, depending upon how good your teams are or not. And so some days you're doing double duty. And by double duty, which sounds like you're actually doing work, I mean, you're sitting in front of a television more than you would normally sit in front of a television. So not actual
It's
work.
The American way, Nick.
Yeah. So, yeah, honestly. But I have been able to get some reading done lately amidst all of this. And, for me, I picked for our theme. I picked Abbott from Boom Studios, which came out in 2018. I picked this because it is set in Detroit, and while that's admittedly sort of on the opposite side of the state for me, I really couldn't, in good conscience, read everything. And everybody can kick off all of the puns about, oh, Nick said he read everything. Wow, that must have taken forever. I'll say it again. The book is called, quote unquote, Everything. And that
did catch me for a minute,
yeah.
Nick. I'm not going to lie. So
everybody does.
I think your caveat is warranted.
I'm sure. I don't even know how he titled the book that, because I'm sure all of the puns must have happened at that point for Christopher Cantwell as well. But I love that book. It's set in Holland, Michigan. It's
just terrible SEO, Nick.
It is. And I think I've already brought that book on the show at least twice or maybe 3 times. For one thing or another. So I was just like, all right, I can't.
So you read something different.
Yeah, I read something a little bit further away, but different. Detroit's close enough, and I didn't want to read Blankets, so that helped too. Have you read this?
Oh, why
book?
not? Because a lot of people say that's on their like top list. I have read Blankets, but I could not tell you one single thing about it.
Yeah, I think part of me not reading Blankets is not wanting to be depressed, and the other part is just trying to be contrarian. So I guess here we are. Yeah, I had started Abbott before once, but like for some reason I didn't finish it, which is not a good omen. But and I feel like I'm damning with faint praise, but I still really enjoyed this book. I guess let's just get down to the brass tacks here. This is written by Saladin Ahmed, who's known for Star Signs, Terror War, Alien King Killer. I think maybe best known for his Miles Morales themed series. I can't remember what it's called. I know it's a Spider-Man book, folks. I'm not that out of touch. Okay.
Nick, you sound so world weary right now. I feel like mentally you're going through like a little filing cabinet in like a back office with your glasses on and a little visor, and you're just like, well, let me look this up here for you.
I don't know how to do that. Yeah, I've got I have an old timey card catalog system in my room. Like, as much as people are trying to like disjoint themselves from the internet these days, like that's one of the steps I've taken. I have a card catalog. I have a pair of reading glasses, and I've got that banker's lamp on my desk, the green one with the little gold cord that comes down. That's how I'm living my life now. Sorry, guys.
My parents had one of those in my apartment growing up. That's like conjuring such a vivid image for me. Please continue.
Yeah. So there were other people working on this book, I swear. Illustrations by Sammy Cavella, colors by Jason Wardy, letters by Jim Campbell. And it's not totally surprising that this book is set in Detroit. Saladin is from the area. He attended junior college at Henry Ford in Dearborn and then transferred to UMich, which of course is in Ann Arbor. I say, of course, I feel like everybody knows that. So just
I do not know that because I've never been to Michigan.
Okay. I guess that will just be another episode, convincing Kara to come to Michigan. We'll put that on the docket.
Everyone keeps telling me that I will love the wine country aspect of it, and
Traverse
I'm
City,
sure that's true.
Yeah. Paul would be able to tell you a lot more about that, I think, for sure.
IRCB wine tour. We'll tell Mike when he comes back.
He might be on board. We'll see. But yeah, to give just like a brief summary of this, the book takes place in Detroit, 1972, with the titular Elena Abbott, as she's working as an investigative journalist for Detroit Daily, a newspaper that, based on the clever montage this book wraps in of her sort of walking past all of these major newspaper entities like the Detroit Free Press and the Detroit Daily News. You can tell that she like walks past both and you can see their logos, and then she gets to her office and it's like a much smaller, much dingier, less than exciting place that her paper is clearly not, really on the up and up. She begins by investigating this murder and this desecration of all things of like a horse owned by the police department. Because they do have those in bigger cities for like crowd control and all that, and it's a crime.
Aesthetics, probably.
Right, and it's a crime that like most of her contemporaries at the scene are basically half convinced it's linked to the Black Panthers. She doesn't obviously buy into this Godfather-like imagery of a horse head, but for some reason this imagery of this horse head conjures up like these really weird memories for her, because it's got like this odd sort of like spectral glow to it, and it brings back these memories from years and years earlier of I know this is a left turn for this book, her husband being like taken away by some strange demonic force.
Oh, so it's supernatural. So we're in a supernatural book.
Yeah. It's like there's this flashback and she's like, oh, he used to carve these like wards into our walls to like tell us that we would be protected. And then one day these demons or whatever took him. And I'm like, I'm sorry, wait, what is this book about now? And it's like, okay.
Yeah. Because now I'm locked in. Because when you first started describing this, I was like, okay, 70s, gritty city, small newspaper, investigative reporter. Sure. I locked in when you said demonic sigils. So like,
that's so funny, because that was the point. I was like, maybe this book isn't for me. I know. That sounds like a real stick in the mud that like the book gets to like the point.
All right, Nick, tell me about the book that I'm going to read.
Right. Let me tell you about your next read.
Yeah.
So this is like the weird part for me. It's like, it's not like Abbott needs any more opposition or struggles in her life, right? She's an African-American woman. She's working in a field almost exclusively populated by white men. The newspaper's board of directors is already trying to retract all their pieces. The cops are trying to deny her access to crime scenes. Other journalists won't give her the time of day. Okay? Things are already hard enough for this poor woman. And now it's like, by the way, your first husband, don't know where he is, but maybe like gremlins are involved, and your second husband divorced you because you couldn't get over the trauma of your first husband, and you don't have a great relationship with that person. And like, I'm on page 6 of this book, and you're gonna tell me things are gonna get even harder for this person. Yeah. And I know this is unreasonable to be like, you know what I really would like? You know what would make me like this book more? And it's, I don't know, 40% of this book being changed into a hard-boiled noir investigative, hard researched period piece. I don't know why I'm not fun anymore, but apparently I'm not fun anymore, because that's the book I would have actually really dug.
Right. I mean, from the introduction that you just gave, that sounds like the direction we were kind of going. So if that wasn't the vibe,
Yeah,
what is the vibe of this book then?
like
did you finish it?
I almost feel like the book I want is like the book that if you're trying to pitch this to an editor, you know, your friend that you review it past is like, you know what this book needs? This book needs a twist. Like, this book needs something to elevate it beyond the book that Nick White wants. And so there's the hook, and everybody else signs on, and I'm the person who's like, you know what? I wish this was more grounded. But you know.
So it's more fantastical. The way that you're describing it,
Yeah,
not having read it,
right,
the way that you're describing it, it sounds like the setting is more like window dressing than impactful on the actual story. Does that feel like a right assumption?
It definitely,
like, it's there for aesthetics as opposed to grounding it, like you said.
The story still definitely attempts to make an effort to involve itself in you know, what 1972 was like for Detroit, and involving the city in a certain way, but it certainly gets more and more and more supernatural, demons, magic, mythical, cult organization stuff. Like, as the series goes on, that stuff kind of ramps. And so especially because like some of the promotional material for this book hides that stuff, and I get maybe why. I think it is important to tell people, like, if that's what you're not, if that's not your jam, like, maybe not this book. But
Nick, how would you describe the art style for this book?
Sure. In as much as I hate comparing artists to other artists, as an effective introductory shorthand, Sammy Cavella's art reminds me a little of Tula Lote, color work more specifically, which is by Jason Wardy, who's done some absolutely wonderful stuff on like Wasted Space and Kaya, for example. But also there's weirdly, and this one's a little bit more of a deep cut for those real fans, right? God, Christopher Mitten. Are you familiar with Christopher Mitten?
I can't say that I am.
You probably are, and you just don't remember his name. He's done a good amount of like horror adjacent, and it is literally mitten like a glove. It's not any sort of weird,
I was gonna say,
it's a literal spelling. He seems to end up on a lot of horror or horror adjacent books, which is why we've seen him do quite a few Hellboy adjacent series.
I was gonna say, you know him for Hellboy, don't you?
And then I think he did a series called Umbral, maybe, with Anthony Johnson. And what's really interesting is that was a super horror themed series that was very purple centric. Like, the book was so crazy purple, and Wordy might have worked on that as well. Don't quote me on that. So this book is also like almost all of the magic and the magic adjacent stuff is like very purple hued. Which is interesting. And
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Nick, every single thing you say about this book, I'm like, yeah. Write it down. Does the library have it? I'm ready. Let's go.
I'm checking it out right now, Nick. I don't want to hear any other negative words about this book. You're not ruining this experience for me.
It's all good. We're getting into spooky season, Nick. You know I'm just going to be locked in on magic from here on out.
But visually, it's great. Honestly, it's one of those moments where I finished this book that's like maybe 7 or 8 years old, and I'm like, oh, what else has this guy worked on? And not exactly a massive list of credits for Cavella. And so I don't know if maybe he's just a slow worker. Sometimes that's it. Sometimes the person has frequently, this is it, they've left comics, which every time that happens, I'm like, I don't blame you. You know, they've usually you find some Twitter post and they're like, I've gone on to do video game design work, or I've gone on to, you know, do concept art for some kids, you know, animation for some kids TV show. And I'm like, don't blame you. I don't blame you. You're probably actually making money now. So who knows? Folks, if you want to send us a Twitter post and tell us what rampant speculation you think Sammy Cavella is up to, or actually do the research for us, let me know.
Nick. Was there anything else about this book, like setting wise, that you wanted to point out?
Absolutely. And I think that's kind of probably my other really big point is, if you're a Detroiter or someone who's very familiar with Detroit, I think there's a lot here to appreciate. This book has a bunch of settings that seem to be like very grounded. And I know this seems obvious, but like using real places, right? I mean, that would be crazy and psychotic if you're like, this book is set in Detroit, and then you just start making up streets or something. But I'm here to tell you it's real.
Okay.
And there were, well, again, I'm not a Detroiter. There were some things and places I did catch that were kind of funny. At one point, Abbott goes and dines at a restaurant in downtown Detroit. And Detroit has this curious history of, and all the Detroiters are going to get mad because I'm going to truncate this story way too much. There were a pair of brothers over 100 years ago, and they owned a Coney Dog business, and they got in a fight, and the two of them decided that they were both going to have their own Coney Dog business, and they literally opened up the two of them right next door to one another. And over 100 years later, both are still around, both still exist, both are still like, it's become like a weird cultural identifier in the city of like, which one do you like? Right. Do you go to Lafayette or do you go to American? And so it was funny to see that.
Have you been?
I haven't been. But what's interesting, and maybe I'm reading into this too much, right? When she goes, she doesn't go to both. They only go to Lafayette. And so I'm wondering if the author is like quietly identifying where he stands on this big city dispute, or maybe I'm reading into it and he's dug so deep into this character that go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, in the book, is it made clear that this is like a thing as like a side note or something, or is that just an Easter egg if you're familiar with the city?
Absolutely not. Like, you either and then I think, and I'd have to have it in front of me, I think the names of the two shops aren't even written on the shops, but they're both Coney places right next door to one another, and it's kind of a, if you know, you know.
Sure. Nick, what, sorry to sound so dense, but you keep saying Coney place. Is this
so Coney dogs,
Coney Island style hot dogs, like hot dogs?
Right. It's, as far as I know, and I'm not steeped in this. I think they're just chili dogs. Folks are going to get so mad. I think they're just chili dogs. I think the sauce is a little different.
This is so regional, though, Nick, because I've never heard this. You're saying Coney, and you first said, I think, Coney Island. And so I'm thinking Nathan's hot dog stand at Coney Island in Brooklyn. Right. But that's just a hot dog. There's no like special topping. So the second you started going in about chili, I was like, you lost me. Is this like a Chicago dog? It's not a Chicago dog.
No.
So very regionally specific.
Yes. Yeah, I know enough to tell you you're wrong, but I don't know enough to fully correct you. What you're saying is incorrect.
Paging all Detroit listeners.
Yeah. I think I got like 60% of that right, but
you're gonna get so much hate mail for this, Nick.
Maybe, guys. I'm from the West Side. Didn't think I'd ever say that.
Let's just do it as best.
I'm trying, guys. I'm getting slightly better at like knowing mid Michigan now, but east is still a challenge for me. The other big thing I noticed,
a totally different country,
right? Michigan's big. Come on, I mean, ish.
May I just say how much I enjoy before you continue? That I just made this connection that you read a book that takes place in the state of Michigan, I guess, technically. I don't know if Detroit would think that.
Yes.
And one of the creative team, his last name is Mitten, and it's spelled like mitten, and Michigan is a mitten.
Well, no. Mitten, no. Kavela is the artist.
No.
I said he reminds me of
sorry.
Mitten.
You were doing a comparison.
That would have been insane.
It was insane. That would have been great. We're so close, gang.
We're so close. Yeah. That would have been
all right.
Perfect.
As you were, Nick. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Wrap up, and then we'll go over to my neck of the woods.
The other thing I really appreciated is they brought in Belle Isle, which was another, like, this book was in those sporadic moments where I did figure out what they were doing. It was, the Leo from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood pointing at the TV moment, right? Like that meme. So
yeah.
When they brought in Belle Isle, I was like, oh, I know what this is. Belle Isle is this weird little island off outside of Detroit. It's like it's just like a 1.5 square miles. It's really not big, but at some point, I think back in the 70s or 80s, someone had the absolute psychotic idea that the best thing to do with this little island that became a state park, which Wikipedia, this is weird, and one of the first times in a long time that I've looked at a Wikipedia fact and gone, I don't know if this is true. It's the second most visited state park. I think state is the big word. State park in the United States after Niagara Falls.
Okay.
Yeah, not to dig too deep in that. I'm
state
guessing
park, not
that is
national park.
Exactly where I think where they might have it right. Anyway, so someone said, let's take this state park, which has a lot of wildlife and everything, and let's do the most naturally American thing. Let's host an annual motor car race here every year.
I mean, Detroit's right there. That makes sense.
Right. So IndyCar was racing there from like 2012 until 2023. And then they said, let's stop ruining this park. Let's move this race right downtown Detroit, and let's start ruining those streets that clearly weren't made for so anyway, when they brought in Belle Isle, I was like, oh, that's perfect. I actually know what that is. So but overall, I still pretty enjoyed it. I think probably the biggest question would be, are you actually going to move to volume 2? And yeah, I'll read it. We'll see where it goes. Maybe actually I'll like it more. You never know. But
you never know.
You never know.
I think I'm really proud of you for giving this another shot. I can understand if you're so grouchy about the genre bait switch that you would have put it down in the first place, but I appreciate your sharing it, because it does sound extremely up my alley, and I am going to go see if the library has a copy. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, the last thing I'll say is, like, honestly, this is important, and I say this, I guess, half jokingly, half not. This book makes smoking look really, really, really cool. I think like 8 to 9% of the panels in this book are dedicated to smoking or drinking, and multiple times where they're like, I'm at the bar, and the person's like, oh, why are you leaving the bar? And she's like, I'm going to go home and drink more. So anybody out there who's...
So like romanticizing substance abuse.
Yes. So if you're like trying to get into like smoking cessation and all that, like maybe don't pick up this book, because I'm ready to pick up a carton is what's going to happen over here. Okay. Nick. Like going to get me some Marlboro Reds. And
he's kidding. He's kidding. My legal advisor.
Oh no.
My legal advisor has advised me that he's kidding.
Oh man. I mean, look, I grew up, and you I think did as well to some extent, in the era of like Joe Camel, before they're like, this Joe Camel thing is too effective. So like,
yeah, I got probably the tail end.
Very tail end of Joe Camel. So yeah, guys, if you don't know who Joe Camel is, look him up. Don't blame me if you start smoking.
Nick, I'm cutting you off.
Okay, we'll stop talking about nicotine now. Why don't you tell me about...
No more nicotine.
Does your book involve smoking?
My book does not involve smoking.
Okay.
I grew up in Westchester County, so I have the benefit of choosing from literally any of the X-Men titles, but obviously wanted to focus on things that were actually set at the X-Men Xavier Academy. And very fortunately, many of our fellow hosts on this show love the X-Men and know a lot about it. So I had barely mentioned in the chat that I was going to look for an X-Men book to read, and I had like multiple suggestions about which one to go to. So that took zero effort on my part and was much appreciated. But like, yeah, I grew up like 40 minutes north of Manhattan, so I could have gone with like any New York City based character and like technically gotten away with it, but I was just like, I didn't grow up in the city. I'm technically bridge and tunnel. Fine. I did grow up in Westchester County. I know all about that. So it always tickled and like it always tickled me that so many of these books are set there, but it like makes sense because like when these like DC and Marvel and these other comic book companies were like really getting going, like they were all located in New York City, so it makes sense that New York would either be the setting or be the inspiration for the setting. Anyway, I digress. So I am briefly going to talk about two of the different books that I was recommended. I got told that I absolutely must read Wolverine and the X-Men, and also New X-Men Academy X. So I read the first volume of each, and I definitely have thoughts and definitely have a favorite.
Okay.
I do have thoughts. So New X-Men Academy X Volume 1. This one, I read both of these on Hoopla, and I think Hoopla like registers the year of publication sometimes as the year the book was like added to Hoopla, because this book was showing as 2026, and so I started reading it and I was like, 2026, this is like, I'm in 2005 right now, right? And as I got like halfway through the book and like went off on a Wikipedia tab and looked it up, and it's like, yes, this series was like 2005, 2006, 2007. I think the trade came out 2007, because reading it was like time travel. This is when I was getting into superhero comic books, but I was like solidly DC.
Right.
So it's weird to think that this comic would have been on the shelves, but I would have just like
been passing
not
by.
Looking at it at all. So yeah. So this is like the Xavier Academy is getting like, it's a new era at the Xavier Academy, and Cyclops is in charge, and so is Emma Frost, and they're dating, and she's newly reformed. So I'm like, okay, I don't know enough about the X-Men timeline to know exactly where I am, but I know kind of like who these characters are. And you're mostly meeting a bunch of new students who are almost immediately organized into groups of squads, where they're going to be like learning to work as a team together, blah, blah, blah. But like one of the guys on the squad almost immediately is like, hey, I came here to go to school, not to train to be an X-Man. So what the hell are we doing here? And they're like, no, it's for team building. And it's like, no, this is just an excuse to like fast track some X-Men. Like they get outfits and everything. So I think what they were trying to do with this was like school rivalry. Like you've got your little team over here sitting at lunch, and you've got your little team over here sitting at lunch, and you're like switching allegiances, and people have crushes on each other and stuff. And like, I get it, but also because I wanted to like read a book set at the Academy, and in this book, the Academy felt like, I used the term window dressing earlier to ask you a question about your setting. This felt like an excuse to throw a bunch of new X-Men together and have them fight each other.
Oh no.
So,
okay.
Like, I know for a lot of X-Men fans, that's like the point. You're like, I want to see all the new powers, and I want to see these characters with their interpersonal conflicts. I'm like, yes, sure. But then like, do you have to do it in the context of, we're starting the school again? No, it's different this time. We swear. Never mind.
Right.
But like, Like, I don't know, the art style felt very mid 2000s superhero for me. It was like, ooh, can I remember the name of the artist? Campbell, was it? With like the really like really big breasts and like small waists for the women. That's like the kind of vibe that's going on. Like everybody's sticking out their rib cages and has like washboard abs and is wearing crop tops. And then like one of the characters is a new student. Her code name ends up being Dust, and she is Afghani, and she's wearing a burqa, and all of the other like her roommate is like a Japanese girl who like ran away to the United States and is just like wearing crop tops all the time, showing off her abs and like basically harassing her roommate for wearing a burqa. And so that was one of my like key indicators that this was like happening during the Iraq War, because I was like, oh, right, this is like just a few years past 9/11, and we've got like Ahmed the terrorist puppet on TV. Oh God, yeah. And like
Jeff Dunham, comedic visionary. Yes. Yeah.
Right. So like, not to bring you like hard reel back to that time period, but like as soon as I saw this character in a burqa, I was like, oh my God, this is like 2003 to 2008. Like I know where we are. And then I narrowed down on the timing because the Japanese character, I think her name is Surge, is like listening to a CD in her room, and she's listening to the Liz Phair album that came out at that time. They don't say this, but they have like the lyrics to her song Extraordinary. And I was like, oh, I was a girl in high school at this time listening to the Liz Phair album on my CD player in my room. I know exactly where we are right now.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. You really did some sleuthing there. I was yeah.
I didn't even sleuth. I just saw the lyrics and I was like, I know where we are.
Yeah. That's fair.
So, I don't know. This because this book was so like, I think you can easily still read it today. To me, the art style and some of the things that are happening are like so of that time period that it like almost took me out of it a little bit. But the helpful thing that I enjoyed about this is that they were like semi-specific about the location of the Xavier Academy, right? Because they had one little caption. I'm like, I'm geolocating you.
Right.
So they had like a little like subcaption that said that they're an hour north of New York City. And in one of the later issues in this first volume, one of the characters is getting like taken away by the feds. And weirdly, instead of putting him in like an armored vehicle or something for transport, they take him to a Metro North train station, which is the commuter rail that connects New York City to like Westchester County and Fairfield County. And it was so so funny to me to be like, you would not transport the kid that can touch people and kill them with his touch by commuter railway. Oh, yeah. Like, what are you doing?
That's a terror event right there. God.
Right, but like, but because I'm a dork, Nick, because they were like, okay, Xavier Academy is an hour away from New York City, and there's a Metro North station. Like, they use the words Metro North in the caption. I'm not making an assumption about what this is. So I decided to take a look at the Metro North stop map and see.
No, I would do this too. Like, this is fine. No. I excuse all of this behavior. Right, this is like dumb shit I would do. Go ahead.
So I'm like, all right, which stops are about an hour away and still in Westchester County? Because there's 3 Metro North lines. So we're looking at. We're not looking at the New Haven line because that goes almost immediately into Connecticut. We're looking at the Hudson line, and we're looking at. Oh my God, I'm blanking. Is the blue one the Harlem line? Anyway, so we're looking at either like Ossining or Chappaqua is like the area that the Academy would be in according to this book, which tickles me because I always kind of assumed when I heard that the Academy was in Westchester that it would be in northern Westchester because like south of White Plains, it's just too densely populated. Like if you've never been to the New York City area, like the only comparable thing I can think of in terms of like sprawl that still includes densely packed buildings is like maybe Chicago. Like I haven't been to Detroit personally, but it's just like for miles and miles surrounding the city, even though you're not in the city itself, there's still like high-rise apartment buildings for like miles along the highway.
Yeah.
So okay. I don't think there's a lot of places in the US that really have that. It's like, here's your downtown and now everyone's in their single family homes, but not the case in the New York area. So it has to be in northern Westchester. Anyway, so then I read Wolverine and the X-Men Volume 1, which did not locate the Academy to such specifications for me, but I enjoyed the story of this one much more. So Wolverine and the X-Men Volume 1, the first volume looks like it was published in 2019. So this is much more recent. The writer of this one is Jason Aaron, art by Chris Bachalo and Nick Bradshaw. And this was another type of like, we're starting the Academy again. And the twist this time is instead of the Xavier Academy, it's the Jean Grey Academy, and Wolverine is in charge. So it's like, Wolverine, what are you doing being in charge? And he does start the story with like, you might be wondering why I'm in charge. I don't even like my own kids. So, but I liked this one a lot more. It was like, it felt more grounded in the location of the Academy. It's like you're in their first day operating as a school, and Wolverine and Kitty Pryde have to show two representatives of the New York State Board of Regents around to like make sure that their school is like available to become a school.
Sure.
And that was both like a nice sort of locational touch, and also like, yeah, if you want to operate as a school and be like accredited, you gotta meet some standards and fill out some paperwork. And there's like, the floor is shaking because there's seismic activity going on. All the kids are new and getting into shenanigans with each other. Two kids get in trouble. So Wolverine's version of discipline is like turning the bathroom that they're in into a danger room, because Beast has made the whole mansion into one big danger room that you can like select what area you want to suddenly have holograms in.
Oh my goodness.
So, which feels maybe like we're towing the line. Like one of the kids is in the bathroom, right? So he flips on the danger room and all of a sudden this kid is like, the toilet's on fire, and he's in the stall. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how you... I don't know if we could get accredited as a school.
Exactly. I don't know how any sort of like evaluator sees that and goes, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. Sounds like they really wanted to delve into the setting and like actually make it a school with school things, in as much as you can have normal school things in a, you know,
you do see in an X-Men comic. Well, because like they have some X-Men in there as teachers,
right?
So like you're seeing like Husk trying to teach an English class, and like you're seeing the kids in classrooms attempting to learn some lessons. You're seeing some of the X-Men there as like different professors, or like there's a flashback where Wolverine approaches Iceman and he's like, Bobby, I need you to step up. I need you to come to this school and be like the glue that holds us together. And Bobby's like, all right, no pressure, sure. But I think that like, I don't know I say I don't know a lot about the X-Men. I've read some X-Men comics. I don't know the lore to a deep detail, but I felt like I at least had enough of a passing knowledge about the references that they were making where I didn't feel so overwhelmed. I definitely think if you're more of an X fan, you'll get more enjoyment out of this book, because in the first 4 issues, you've got the Hellfire Club. There's a Brood member in the mix. There's a Shi'ar prince there. There's Sentinel references. There's like it. This is spoilers, so skip ahead 30 seconds. Yeah. The school is built on top of a piece of Krakoa, a sentient island.
Okay.
And that's where like the earthquakes are coming from. And this like piece of island was like trained by the Hellfire Club to like destroy and be angry. So like one of the kids with psychic powers is like talking to the ground essentially and being like, hey man, can you cool it? Like, you're a mutant too. It's fine. Just like hang with us. And then
Sure.
and he's like, okay. Which I actually really loved. So I definitely enjoyed this one. Possibly my favorite reference that I was tickled that I understood is like Xavier is in the first like few pages of this book talking to Wolverine about like passing this baton and having Wolverine run the school instead. And he's like, let me give you some advice on like how to do this. And Wolverine goes, no baseball.
Yeah. I see.
And I'm
I
like,
just
well,
assumed he
now
was
you have
dead.
to do it.
I assume, like, I'm so used to, as an outsider looking in on X-Men, I feel like every time someone's talking to me about an X-Men book, Xavier is like always dead. He's always like never around. He's always dead. So I was just shocked when you're like, anyway, Professor X is. I'm like, he's alive. Is that allowed?
Also, he's walking, Nick.
Oh, okay.
I just, you know what? That's one of those comic book things where I'm just like, doesn't matter. I don't need to know why. I just need to know that he's here. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't need to read the backstory.
Right. If I need to learn how this happened, it's going to be 90 more issues, and I'm not engaging. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's like I'm sure Mike will yell about it to me if I ask him, but I don't need to know it for the purpose of this story, so I think I'm fine.
Exactly.
Totally. But yeah, so that was my my little fictional foray into Westchester County.
Well, I'm glad you were able to find something a little bit more dialed in for your region, because I will admit, Mike and I were talking about this theme a day or two ago, and we were talking about you and what you might pick, because all Mike and I do is talk about the show when we're not on the show. I'm just kidding. But I was like, I will be impressed if Kara picks something a little more dialed into her region, because obviously, if we're talking about the state of New York and New York City, I'm like,
I could pick anything in New York.
Borderline pick so many billion titles and just get away reading any book you wanted. That I was
whatever I wanted.
Exactly. And so I was like, I'll be impressed if she finds something a little bit more honed in. So I am impressed. I'm glad to see that. You made this a little bit more difficult.
I went full legit, I guess, like it, and then in terms of like skipping comics adjacent for a second with like filming locations, some of the Jessica Jones series was, if not filmed directly in my hometown, like they made strong allusions to the idea of her like going on a overnight trip to that general area, even though the way that they represented it is not how it actually is.
Okay.
So like I remember watching that series and being like, that's my finger pointing at the TV moment. Like, I know what you're doing there.
I could swear, I think I remember, I mean, obviously this was several years ago. I thought there was a moment where you were like, like certain streets were starting to get blocked off or something in that area or something. And you were like, I tried to go downtown and couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. They're always filming something, and not like always filming, but like I've seen some like exterior shots, show up in like the first season of the show Billions. I remember. And there's some shots in the movie Big with Tom Hanks, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we're gonna close out today with just a few quick what are you reading next picks. We've got some items from the Discord. CK is reading Minor Arcana Volume 2. And Danny is checking out Hammer Fist #1. And I know nothing about this title, but Hammer Fist is a pretty great name. And I really hope it's about a hammerhead shark that is anthropomorphized to the point where it has arms and can punch people. But I know that's not what it is. And now I'm disappointed preemptively.
Yeah, I can't remember who the artist is on that. But I know that it's a Remender book. And Rick Remender has that unbelievable ability. For me right now, Remender is almost like Mark Miller was, a couple, Mark Millar was a couple years ago, where it's like he was pulling in all of these huge, amazing artists, and you're like, these books fucking suck. But you keep, especially when he was like posturing for his Netflix deal and everything, right? And he's got all this money, and like all these books suck, but he keeps dragging in all these big names. But no, Hammerfist. Oh, you know what? That's right. It's Epting. It's Remender and Epting. Epting did the art on Velvet, which was with oh gosh, why am I blanking on this? Who's the guy who does all the crimes?
Pull out the Rolodex, Nick.
He does all the crime stuff.
You got to pull out your little files.
Why am I?
Brubaker? Brubaker?
Yeah, exactly. Jeez, why did I blank on that? Yeah. So it was another.
Oh my god, did I get it?
Yeah, it's Brubaker. Yes. It's sort of like the Brubaker. I was gonna say the Brubaker Femme Fatale book, but technically the Brubaker Femme Fatale book is actually Fatale. So, but right. she's like I was gonna say,
I think I read Fatale.
Agent. Yeah. No, that book looks really good. Okay. So if someone's picking that, excellent taste. I am also excited for that. I don't know how Remender keeps pulling all of the best artists these days, but he's doing it. So
got him in his back pocket like a deck of Pokemon cards.
He really does. I remember when I absolutely love Wes Craig's art, but I hated the story of Deadly Class. And so here's one of my most favorite artists who was basically quote unquote stuck with Rick Remender for like however many volumes that book went on for. And I'm like, I want to see you free. He's just shackled to the desk Misery style with Rick Remender. And no, anyway, that's a whole
I'm just picturing Michael Jordan in Space Jam in the animation where he's just like going up the stairs or like the kids going up the stairs to dunk on him. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nick, what are you reading next?
I'm pretty excited for the upcoming second issue of Giant Robot Hellboy Returns, which comes out.
How could you not with a title like that?
Right. It's like, how is this going to suck? It can't. It's coming out on September 2nd for anybody interested. I was looking at books coming out next week, but for some reason there's like literally 12 books coming out next week. And it's not like a 5 Wednesday month. Usually when you have a week that's like terrible, it's because there's 5 Wednesdays in the month. That's not what's happening. So I don't know. I don't know.
It's the end of summer though. Yeah. So like maybe so many people are on vacation that they're just like, why bother?
So I skipped ahead, and Giant Robot Hellboy Returns is the sequel to, I know, wait for it, Giant Robot Hellboy. You got it. And
I've read a comic before.
You know how this frequently works. Yeah. It's got the exact same creative team that the original had. So story by Mike Mignola, art by Duncan Fegredo, colors by Dave Stewart, letters by Clem Robbins. This is, the original was based on this. Mike Mignola said he had been kicking around this big mecha idea for a while, but he, quote, thought it was too silly to actually do. However, he found himself sketching it as part of his no pun intended here, but I guess I wrote this as well, his viral pandemics drawing sessions he did in 2020.
Okay.
And at the time, those drawings were auctioned off to raise money for World Central Kitchen, because Mike Mignola is really good buds with Chef Jose Andres. Those drawings would get collected and published as Mike Mignola's The Quarantine sketchbook. All the proceeds went also to World Central Kitchen. But in this,
that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know if you can go buy it now. I assume at this point, maybe, who knows? But yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool when I heard about that. It wasn't like, a portion of the proceeds. No, actually, all of the money is going to World Central Kitchen, which is awesome. So the original conceit of so
you're ready for some robot stuff.
Yeah, and it's like not the most. I know this is shocking. It's not the most erudite, dense shit. Basically, Hellboy gets kidnapped by some scientists. They drop him in a mecha that's of him, and they send him off to this mysterious island to investigate things. The end. That's the initial conceit. Will there be a giant kaiju fight? Of course there will be.
Of course there will.
Yes.
How is this not made into a Saturday morning cartoon is just the real mystery.
Well, you know what's always interesting and I respect about Mike Mignola is that whenever he has an idea for a book, it feels like he always has a good vibe on not overstaying a book's welcome, which is why so many Hellboy miniseries aren't running for 4 or 5 issues. They're running for 2 or 3 issues. And the original Giant Robot Hellboy was a 3-issue series, and this follow-up is literally just a pair of issues. So I don't know. I've always found that
I'm just making a face because for comics I think it's okay because I'm assuming these are regular sized issues, so 2 issues would be like maybe 60 pages total, which is more like a French size book for a trade.
Yeah.
But in young adult fiction in general, like especially the more like romance and fantasy type stuff, there's been this recent publishing trend where people are not doing series and they're not doing standalone books, they're doing duologies. And it pisses me off because I'm like, get an editor. Like, don't leave a cliffhanger at the end of book 1 and then you need to wait for book 2. Do a trilogy and have it be 3 parts, or do 1, but 2 just feels like you either ran out of ideas.
Okay, I gotcha. Interesting. It's like, yeah, 2 is weird.
Like there's a book that 2's weird, but like they're all doing it, like, and it's so annoying because I'll read a book and I'll be like, oh wait, this was great. What do you mean it's a cliffhanger? What do you mean I have to wait a year or 2 to get the next one? I'm gonna lose track by then. What do you mean?
Right. Anyway. And you know, so many of the times like they know exactly what's gonna happen and they're just picking a point to split it, and it's like, what are you doing? It's
just frustrating.
Yeah,
I'm just annoyed.
And
anyway,
with comics, right, it's natural to wonder if when you do 2 issues, it's like, how are you collecting this? Are you going to collect this as 6? Are you going to collect? I'm guessing.
French
I don't know if they have
trade
already,
with back matter.
Are you going to have to collect a Giant Robot and Giant Robot Returns? Because if Giant Robot Returns is just 2 issues, are you going to sell a 60-page trade? And how much are you going to charge? Because it's going to be too much.
$15.
Yeah, you got it. Exactly. That's guarantee it. I guarantee it. So.
I love pricing shit, Nick. I love price breakdowns.
So
I like figuring like
in the weeds right now.
Anyway,
but I love it.
I'll tell you what I'm reading.
Yeah.
All right. So I am not as first of all, I'm definitely going to check out basically everything you talked about on this episode. So that's like my cheater answer, right? But in all seriousness, I did really enjoy the first volume of Wolverine and the X-Men.
Okay.
So I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to willingly continue reading an X book for a little bit. I just need to wait for my Hoopla borrower limit to refresh at the end of the month for me to get
what is
the next
your
couple
limit?
of volumes.
Just so we can get that out there. I'm always fascinated.
It used to be okay. So it definitely. And actually, this is
kicked up.
I'm still using the Westchester County. No, I'm still using the Westchester County Hoopla login, which is so fun. So I was using the Westchester County one, reading a book set in Westchester County. Anyway, so the limit definitely used to be like 6 or 8, and now it's 2, which I found out after checking out 2 X-Men books to read for this.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if that's just like me or if it anyway.
No, I was 6. Now suddenly I'm beginning to wonder if I go check that right now if I'm also going to
Are you also 2? Yeah. You're going to find out.
Yeah.
So when that refreshes, I want to continue the Wolverine X-Men journey. And also, like I said earlier, it's the end of summer. It's like I'm a grown-ass adult. I don't have kids. I'm not doing the back to school thing, which means I still get to be the kid. So I want to read some Lumberjanes to really send out the summer with a little summer camp romp to just have a little nostalgia moment before the fall sets in. So that'll be me. That'll be my little wrap up. But thanks for joining me today, Nick, to talk about comics from our hometown. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because the recent Jonas Brothers album was called Greetings from Your Hometown. So that has been at the back of my head this entire time.
Okay. I know very little about them. One of them has diabetes. I know that.
I did not know that. Do you know which one?
God, I'm nervous. I'm pulling this out of nowhere. I thought
Nick.
One of them was doing a lot of like PSA stuff about like know if you have diabetes. So now I am having to fervently
I don't think so, Nick.
Google over here Jonas Brothers diabetes.
I follow them on Instagram.
How
so
Nick
I don't
Jonas's
think I've
diabetes
seen any of that.
management has changed. Okay, there we go. I did not imagine this. I don't know why that's the only thing I know about them, other than Camp Rock.
I enjoy
right?
that.
That's them.
That is them. Good for you. I enjoy that you picked up a fun fact about the one that shares a name with you, Nick.
Oh, I didn't even also make of course. Now this sounds really egotistical, right?
Yep.
Like, of course, that's the only thing I pay attention.
You're like, Nick only pays attention to
when other Nicks talk to me about important PSAs. I pay attention, and if it's anybody else, I'm just like, "What's your name? Who fucking cares?"
Whatever.
Talk to me about important health medical conditions once your name is Nick. All right, then I'll pay it.
That's how you're gonna pick your doctors from now on.
Oh my
God. Your name has to be Nick or Nicola.
Like all those ZocDoc commercials where it's like, oh, I want a doctor that's this and this and this, and then it's me doing the commercial, and it's like just they have to share my name. I don't care if it's 1 star. I don't care if they were just recently. I don't know what the doctor version of D-Bard is, but yeah.
Nick, don't jinx yourself. But thank you for joining me today. This was a blast. Thank you to Paul for proof listening for us today. Thank you, as always, to our wizard in residence, Zander, for editing. Thanks to Mike for letting me have the show this week. We appreciate you. And if you're listening, comics are great, and so are you.